What is up, dude? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you as well. It is another episode of the Horrible Influence. As always, I'm Brad Myrick, and across from me is Tyler Wright. We want to do a little bit of who the hell we are because we gained what was the number?
90. We got
About
90 followers over the week.
90 followers since last week. So we this is what you signed up for. So hello and welcome.
Pretty.
It's gonna be a fucking doozy, man.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it.
E3 was last weekend. We were in the midst of it while we recorded last time, so there was really no way to let anything out there. But we've shifted through all of the videos and the write-ups and everything on it, and compiled at least what we think's important.
Certainly what stood out to me. Hopefully next year, I'd like to be set up to go, like have the required credentials to go to like PAX and E3 as press, so that way we can have more direct.
Yeah, that was like we started this out like trying to do the showing up to what was it, Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I have 100 hours of video that I just couldn't do anything with. Looked like I had Parkinson's while I was recording it. I was like, "This is smooth," and then I watched it and I fucking vomited. So we'll have to figure that part out.
Yeah, that was very amateur shit. We had that little sign safety pin to your backpack. Fucking stupid.
Check out our Twitch account.
Clueless.
Make us famous. We're getting it. We're
Oh
nailing
yeah,
it now. Big shout out to Podbean. Appreciate the featured podcast last week, and stay tuned for an upcoming Podbean sponsored episode where they're going to get a group of us podcaster, internet delusional famous people, and
That's a good way to put it.
yeah, have us talk to you guys how to start your own podcast if you want to. Some of the mistakes that are made, what worked for some people, what didn't work for others. We don't have a date yet; they're just kind of putting it together, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It was weird that they mentioned that, I thought, but it was cool that they put out the Facebook and that tweet also. That brought in a number of views with those. Like, hey, what one of them says, like, your parents did not approve or some shit like that, which
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully that wasn't.
Your parents do not approve of this.
Hopefully that.
And what was great was it didn't. I don't think it. They didn't say anything about the podcast, so nobody knew what it was. But just that little teaser, like, well, why wouldn't they approve of a podcast?
There's
Like,
rainbows. It seems sweet.
just a couple of queers doing their thing.
Couple gay dudes talking about science and stuff. It's not the first time, so what can you do?
Yeah. I wish it was the first time that we'd been accused of
You'll
being
make
the gay
him pay
boys together.
later. Oh boy. Did you just insinuate that we were gonna fuck each other in the ass later? Because I'll have you know that that's not true. All right.
for everyone that doesn't know this story, including my mother. Hi, Mom. Tyler and I went out to brunch, already pretty gay. We went out to brunch. So we're going to a couple of Bloody Marys, waiting on them to give us our seat. And most of the time, it's just too hard to split two tickets when you're hanging out together. So I'd pay for one, he'd pay for the other. So I grabbed the tab when she said one or two. And then she, like, kind of winked at me as she handed the bill back and went, "I bet you'll make him pay for it later." So I was like, "Of course I will," and then wandered out. That was the end of that. I wish that was the first time. Oh, but it just keeps happening.
Yep. Opposite ends of the country, and there's still a strange suspicion of a relationship. Yeah, of penis touching.
They talk about science because they're always space docking.
All right. I'm sure that's enough of that.
Well, then we'll kick it off here. Like always, we're going to start off with the science aspect of this. It should just be space, man. I try to. Well, not today. Actually, we got some Earth science, which is a little bit rare for us. But we are going to start off with the space. So LIGO that we talked about a few episodes back called gravitational waves. I think was the name of the episode. LIGO is the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. And I won't go through the whole spiel again, but we describe it in depth in that podcast. And what it is think of a pitchfork, very long arms that shoot lasers down to a mirror, and they bounce back. And if those should be the same all the time, right? Well, when a gravitational wave comes through, it distorts by half of a width of a proton the length of that wave. And before, these could never be measured because you could not get the precision down to measure this. Like, I mean, come on, half of a width of a proton, it's ridiculous. But now we can do that in science. So the first one was back in, I think it was like December.
I think so.
That they found that
Something
one.
like that.
They released the information on this one on the 15th, so just a couple of days ago.
Nice.
And this one, just to give you the stats, how they measure these are two black holes spinning towards each other, and then they collide. And those two colliding black holes form a new massive black hole that sends a ripple through space and time. That ripple moves mass about the amount of mass of basically nothing, but it just condenses it all that dark matter and everything so much that it's shooting mass about the density of our sun. And they always use our sun as a measurement. I guess it's a nice, easy one for everyone to understand. But the mass is about the mass of our sun on this wave, and it pushes forward. When it hits Earth, it actually moves Earth about a fraction of an atomic diameter further away from the sun, and then we kind of recoil back into it.
That's crazy.
So it's actually enough force to move us, but because it's space-time, you don't feel it. Like if you had your arms stretched out side by side and that thing hits you on the tip of your fingers, technically you're going to shrink and then get longer. Of course, you won't feel this because of relativity. So, these two black holes, as they started out, one was 8 times the mass of the sun. The other was 14 times the mass of the sun. After collision, you're looking at 21 times the mass of our
22?
sun. 22
8
times?
and 14?
No. I guess they lose some because
right
of the one. Right, so it would be 22 if they didn't create the ripple, but that ripple is about a sun's worth.
Jesus,
right, so it kicks
gotcha.
out. So you end up with 21%, or 21 times the size of the mass of our sun as a black hole. Now, again, there's two of these observatories far enough apart so that an earthquake or something can't disrupt this. And they actually did the math on it. There should not be an inaccurate reading, except for around once every 200,000 years. There's a Earth-size catastrophic event, like one that would affect nearly pole to pole, and that would be the only thing that could throw this off. So
okay. So the likelihood of it ever happening is very, very, very little.
Yeah. That this information coming across is known to be fact now because. They test a lot of weird things with this data. Like they try to mess up the system. They try to detect false data. So far, it hasn't been done. And the other thing they're testing against it is the theory of relativity. They are actively taking the data, which now they have 2 of. So, obviously, if it was an anomaly, you can test it against it. But you need another one. So now they have the second one, and they're testing the exact same properties of relativity against it, and it's holding true. What what they're finding is that they spin at the appropriate speed. They can't, there's things not beating the speed of light. The rotations per their mass, all per the theory of relativity, down to the amount of time that would be slowed down and the distortion of space-time when these ripples come across. So something that Albert Einstein thought of.
I don't
It's
honestly.
about 100 and something years
should
now.
know. That's ridiculous.
But I mean, a mathematical
1905,
equation that
this was
old.
111
Yeah.
years ago.
Yep. So 111-year-old theory has been definitively proven now, and that's pretty incredible.
Definitely. It's insane that he was able to come up with something like that back then, and that it still holds water today. It's fucking
Yeah,
nuts.
and it's always like kind of not been able to be disproven. So we've taken it as fact, but now they're able to actually like hammer that theory down, like put it to real life data, and it's holding true. So
Pretty incredible.
dig him up and shake his hand. Good job, sir.
That's bananas. So it's the same black hole that is is it, what am I trying to ask?
Is it the same
it
anomaly as last
Just like
time?
an aftershock of
No, it's a completely different occurrence.
okay.
Yeah, we're actually able to hunt these events down.
Wow.
Yeah. So the waves are moving slightly slower than the what is it? 20% of maximum travel. So they're moving at like 20% of the speed of light. So when we pick it up, like, oh, there's one happening, then you can measure that area, and however much time after that, the wave will cross.
Huh.
So some of these we pick up and it's too late, and some of them we pick up and it's right on time. Like if you're witnessing it happen, then the wave will be behind it. So they just focus their time frame. And the other thing is we don't have to see it happen. That ripple is going to reach us if they're in certain parts of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Right? So or certain parts of the universe that these occurrences happen. If we're in that line, we're going to receive that ripple whether we see it or not. So all you got to do is sit there and wait for the data to come printing out of a
That's
machine,
so crazy.
basically. Yeah.
It's,
But yeah, second occurrence. So not a fluke, and Albert Einstein's still doing badass shit. The second one though, not a good story. Did you see the
was that Elon's rocket shit in the bed?
Oh, Elon.
I
Yep,
I saw on I think it was Instagram or Twitter. I think it was on Twitter. He posted the video of it failing.
looks like it's going good, doesn't
Yeah.
it? I was like, "How? This isn't the one that
Yeah.
crashed. It's about to set down, and then it just, bah. It's like, oh, I guess it's got to be going real slow because it looked like it was going slow to me.
Yeah, for sure.
don't
Me
know.
too. Everything looked like it was just going to work out perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden it just went fucking sideways, and that was that.
They said it was a liquid O2 depletion, premature depletion of liquid O2 that caused the drone rocket to hit hard enough to, quote, accordion the engines.
Wow. Accordion the engines. That's a terrifying thought.
It just fold the things over and over again. I mean, it crunched the whole thing down. They said the whole frame and everything was twisted.
Wow.
Like it didn't explode like the one did. It left some pretty good poof of smoke there.
That's nutty.
What you didn't know is there's 500 workers on those drone ships that die every
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Don't go picket SpaceX. I heard that 500 people die every time you miss a drone landing.
Yeah, it's just
That's only because he kills
it's
them.
just a
He goes out
conspiracy
and
theory.
shoots 500 people. Goddamn rocket! Ooh. He hits like the auto destruct on like a bunch of fucking Teslas while they're driving around. Like, they're like Elon, another rocket crash, and he just hits the big red button, and fucking 500 of those cars just.
Just rocket off into the universe.
It's gonna be like how he unveiled the autopilot for the
How did
Teslas.
he do that?
Well, you remember they were like, "Oh, well, your car already has it. You just need to download this
Oh yeah.
update." And then he's gonna go, "All right, now all of our cars will fly you to Mars." And they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, dude, I should have bought that model." And he's gonna be like, "Nah, man, I put it in all the
Gotcha,
cars
dog.
back in
The
2014."
wheels turn horizontal and
If you'd have only known,
oh, that's awesome.
could have open sourced that shit and been flying to the moon right
yeah,
now.
right. This is wasting time.
By the way, I'm waiting for the first person to like jailbreak their Tesla.
And then do what with
It's gonna
it?
happen, right? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But to just to custom, like you could be able to program it to just haul ass on autopilot. Like it's fuck the rules. Like somebody's gonna be like, well, I mean, you can go 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, and not get in trouble, and they're gonna like,
Yeah,
jailbreak
program
it.
that in. Fuck. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. You could have
I'm
ISIS program one, so it just drives around like Grand Theft Auto style, like up on the sidewalk through like Times Square or something.
just instead of its horn, like it's just gonna be like Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, just plowing
Fucking
through people.
terrible. God.
Fucking
damn it.
aloha snack bar. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Ooh, a little bit of a detour onto terrorists using Teslas.
Yeah, sorry, that's not a good
terrorists
time for
Teslas.
that, and stupid, not worth listening to either. So
Although the idea of it.
there was this article that somebody posted on, a couple people have posted it on Facebook now, and it's like octopi are aliens. And
What?
then like the subtitle is like scientists prove that octopi are from out of this world, and then I go and I read the article and it's just like there's no proof of anything whatsoever. It's just like these things are pretty cool. Look at them. Like that's all the article was saying. It's like
Just clickbait from
yeah,
hell.
look how neat this is. And that's really all the article could have said, and then just had like a cool picture of an octopus.
Can after this episode, can we start a Kickstarter to change the plural of octopi to octopussies? Because it's still like, come on, it would be great. You get to learn about that in school. Today we're going to learn about the lobsters and the octopuses. Don't snicker, Kevin. It'd be good.
So stupid.
In this world of darkness, we just need a little bit of joy.
Yeah, that's what it is. Renaming animals, evidently space aliens, because they have space alien.
I like that
juice.
there was just nothing about it.
No, yeah, no, it was an utter waste of fucking time. Wish I could find it. I'll look for it later. I'll send it to you. It's definitely worth wasting your time on. So you can be mad about wasting your time.
Oh, don't worry. We're getting to polar shifts, so I wasted plenty of time today listening to fucking the worst videos. Dude, if you're gonna be crazy, be fucking good at it. Like, I mean, you probably don't have a job, that's why you're crazy, but if you do, like, spend the money, because production value is everything.
If you're a little
If
too
it looks
crazy,
good-
like maybe hire somebody else to come in and read what you have written down. You don't necessarily need to be the one.
Save all your pennies and get Morgan Freeman, and then everyone will
Yep.
believe it.
Yep, that's all it takes.
A good CG guy, and then Morgan Freeman, and then whatever you say is 100% true. The president can come on and tell you something is 100% not real, and then if Morgan Freeman came on right after him and told you it was real, you for sure believe Morgan Freeman. Right? Like, that's 100%.
Yeah, I mean
He was God.
Sound logic to me.
He played God. That dude's got some cojones. He just nailed that off. They were like, "Who can we get to play God?" Somebody was like, "Morgan Freeman." Yes,
Yeah,
I will be God.
I'll just. How arrogant do you have to be just be like, what would God be like? Well, just fucking like me. So I'm just gonna be me in this movie.
Yeah, he didn't change. It sounded like he was doing Through the Looking. What was that space one that he did? I'm Morgan Freeman for Through the Looking.
I have no
Through the
fucking
Looking
idea,
Glass.
dude.
He had one on like the Science Channel. It was really good. It was Through the Cosmos, I think. I don't know. It was good though, and he just tells you science
Just tells
shit.
you stuff. There was a time when he was the narrator for 100% of all the material that was coming out. It was like he had like he was like Saddam Hussein, and he had like a bunch of voice doubles that went out and did, because there's no way one man had enough time to do as like that much recording.
There is a mattress store here in Milwaukee that has a fake Morgan Freeman guy. Come down to Mattress Firm, and you'll sleep right after that. Like it's so good, but you can tell it's fake.
I guess some
So-
people do that shit, man. Still, like hiring, like for like radio interviews and stuff like that. Like some people make money off of doing impressions of people, because the people that they're doing an impression of will hire them to do the radio show or like the interview.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that
it's like, I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. for
Sticky,
some
yeah.
bullshit morning radio show. So here's $500. Just don't make me sound
what's
like a
that dude?
racist.
Frank Caliendo or whatever.
Oh,
he just
from
gets
Mad TV.
yeah, he just gets paid to do impressions.
Yeah.
Impressions. He does probably my favorite George W. Bush. Out of all the people that do George W. Bush impressions, Caliendo is my favorite because he's got like the look down, where he squints his face like he's trying real hard to think.
Was it him that did the John Madden with the quick pop popcorn popper?
Oh yeah, he does Madden
That one's
real
fucking
good, dude.
funny. That one's fucking funny.
This guy doesn't know how to read, dude. Dude, those are good. They're good impressions. Anyways, shout out to Frank Caliendo. You want to talk about old people?
I mean, if we have to.
They're real old.
Oh, okay. Hey, what about the? Weren't you gonna talk about the polar shifts? We just started.
It's coming.
Oh, okay.
It's coming.
Okay.
It's right here. We're about to dive on in. It's right here, man. So 15 hours ago, this story was posted. Coming at you real quick here.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. 800,000 year old fire starters and tools were discovered in a cave in Spain. That was the story that I wanted to talk about. And then I read a couple of paragraphs down and saw how they did the carbon dating. Not the carbon dating. How they did the initial dating before they did carbon dating. This spun me off into what is now just 3 pages of, just pack up your gear and move to the mountains. But, so 800,000 years ago, living in a cave that is called, wish me luck,
Oh boy. How do you spell it?
Cueva Negra del Estrecho del Rio Quipar. All right, so it's CuevaNegrADel Estrecho del Rio, and then Quipar. All right, so big stupid name. They can't name their goddamn caves like that, like cave number 7, cave Ocho. Like, you can't do that for me. No,
Cave
they gave
Ocho.
that giant
El
name.
Cave Ocho. I think is
El
proper.
Cavo. Yeah. What they found was that they dug down through the sediment, and they were going down because the cave looked like it. What they're doing now is going to places that would have been used for shelter.
Oh, okay.
This cave would have probably been used for shelter. Let's just start excavating and see what we find. And they got to a certain depth and they were able to find stones that had strike marks, and then other small tools, and then an area of rock that had been burned at about a temperature of 400 to 600 degrees at its maximum. So this thing couldn't have been like a random brush fire or something. Like this was
Gotcha.
a concentrated fire, which is fantastic news. I mean, 800,000 years now. We're looking at intelligent, what would be our ancestors. If they're using tools, we differentiate them from being animals.
Yeah.
Even though 800,000 years ago they would have been just barely cavemen style. You know, they would have been pretty early on. We didn't there no obviously no form of art or anything around their expression, which is another big leap for us as a species. But then, so I was like, oh, this is a cool story. We'll talk about it. And then I read this, and it says initial dating was done by the sediment change that was found just above the artifacts. That sediment change was caused by the polar shift that happened 786,000 years ago.
Hmm.
Period. Just all matter of fact. And that got me spun up because I keep. You remember 2012? They talked about the polar shift. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
And you know, scientists have said that it had happened, but I had never really nailed down, or I guess thought to go back and look because the data's there, of when polar shifts had happened. So that's what I did. I stopped that story there and shot off um, down a polar shift rabbit
Yeah.
hole.
Into the depths of the internet we go.
So, if you Google polar shift, better yet, go to YouTube and type in polar shift, and then click on any video. They're horrible. They're all people saying that the world's going to end. That like a real fear of people that is that a polar shift means that the Earth is going to fucking stop, and then get cranking the other way.
That's such a. That doesn't make
man.
any sense. That doesn't make any like that thought process is. I don't know. To me, that why would that control? Why would something like internal control something that is controlled by very external? Like,
What got me, I was kind of on the same thought process as you there. I was like how could they believe this? And I think it is a 100% because people don't know how the Earth actually revolves around the sun. Most people, like if you remember back to elementary school, they don't teach you that. They fucking just left it out. But they tell you that the sun is the center of our solar system and that we just float around it and then we spin as we float around it,
yep,
which shows you that the sun is stagnant.
yeah,
That is 100% not true. The sun is a fucking bullet
just screaming through the universe.
shooting across the cosmos. I mean, just fucking hauling ass. And we are in its riptide. That's why we're at a 26-degree tilt. We don't sit right next to it. We're actually cantered off of it because of the way we're moving. There's no drag because we're going through space. So people are like, well, why aren't we flying off of this thing? Another kickback, falls in line with relativity there. We don't feel the Earth spinning because it has always been spinning. Like if the Earth was to stop spinning, we'd all fucking
Fly
die.
away.
Yeah, we just.
Yeah.
It's like when you're in a car. If you're in a car for a long time, you don't feel like you feel the initial takeoff, and that's it. So the same thing has happened, just on a grand scale. We spin, and we rotate around the sun like tails of a comet.
Mm-hmm.
So once I think if more people could grasp that concept, they would understand. I think a little bit better. But when they think of the solar system as this stagnant, like a record player, and we're just
Very
turning
peaceful,
around us,
just real fucking.
Yeah,
This one's this
just
far away.
meandering
This
around.
one's this far
Right.
away, and they all spin perfect little circles around the sun. And
Yeah,
there's an asteroid belt here. That's it. Congratulations.
that's it. No, it's we're like the Milky Way is like a ripple, like a tear as we just scream forward. So, um, I think that's what people think that we could just stop in turn, but that can't happen. But there's been a going off these sediment depths a recorded 74 previous polar shifts. And that's a legit polar shift. That means that your compass, when it says north, when this does happen, will actually be south. Like the thing will just, and you'll have to draw new letters on there. So I mean, it's really all that happens. Like if we still want to look at the North Pole as the North Pole, you just have to take your compass apart and spin the paper over. But that wouldn't be that simple. But
Just open up your digital watch and pre-program the N to an S. Yeah, it should be.
yeah,
Should be easy.
just get the app. Get the app for it. You'll be fine. But the interesting thing was that there are a lot of conspiracy guys that say like 2012 the polar shifts were going to change and that we're all going to die. And then it didn't happen. Everybody's
Bummed out.
that they're still alive, I guess. Well,
This is awful. And then
Yeah,
they're just pissed off that it didn't happen.
there was a lot of people bummed out because they sold their homes and they followed crazy, whatever you want to call them, cult leaders.
Man, what was that? Was that like the
Well,
what?
it was one dude from Colorado or Utah, whatever it was, that had he had people sell their homes,
Yeah.
move to his ranch, and then like it didn't happen. He was like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
Luckily, that dude had a legitimate stroke after that. Like they like bombarded him with interviews, and he just stroked out. So they're like, "Oh well."
I guess we got him.
Yeah.
That is
Like-
so fucking nuts. Like, it's so like that shit happens regularly. Like, there are people who will lose their minds and just like, oh my god, it's the year 2000, the Y2K bug. Like, we gotta fucking live in a bunker because computers are gonna stop being able to tell what date it is, and everything's gonna fucking explode. That happens, but it's the times that actually like make it onto mainstream media that's like there's like an entire group of people that are trying to kill themselves so they can get picked up on the comet that's flying by in a month. Like, you're for real? Like, you're serious? Holy shit.
The worst part is these are people that made it. Like, I mean, some of these people are in their 40s and 50s. Like, they made it through half their life or better before. Wow, that's the part they get. Like, I get there's crazy people, but how did that dude as a 5-year-old not just, I don't know, chew on broken glass until he died or something? Like,
how did he make it this far?
Yeah, how did he own a home to sell?
That's a
to
good fucking question. So he's doing better than I am, and he thinks that the
Yeah.
fucking space aliens are gonna swing through and pick him up. So who's the asshole? I guess is the question. And who's the fucking say he was wrong? God damn it!
I mean, by the fact that he was wrong, I think that's the big one. But these, so the 74 previous shifts happen on a 500,000 year, give or take, cycle. It's actually pretty by the clock. So the fact that the last one was 786,000 years ago, we're a little bit past due.
Yeah, pretty big discrepancy.
Right. So that pushed the question a little bit further. If they are real and we are past due, then is there a reason why there is so many conspiracies about this already happening? You know, they talk about looping all of the tsunamis and like the earthquakes in Nepal and the record number of volcanic eruptions. It turns out there's a little bit of science behind it. There is NASA has confirmed this. This isn't from any like the fake ABC news sites that tell you Caitlyn Jenner changed back to being Bruce Jenner to get his Father's Day present or whatever. So,
I hope. Okay. All right. I hope that's true. But that is so fucking believable. That's the most believable thing that you'll say this entire podcast. Those fucking heartless, soulless pieces of shit. I just want more things. So. Fuck.
but
And here we are talking about him. Yeah, you win again.
Yep. But it turns out the mag reversal is happening now. But the time frame at the rate at which it's happening is about another 2 to 3,000 years. So
we'll probably see it in our time. I mean,
yeah, probably don't freak out about it right
the
now.
advances
But
of modern science and medicine.
my high level of income, there's no reason I can't live to be maybe 3,000 years old. I'd have to fucking be real rich. But
I think you reach
the
a
mag
point where you just
reversal,
become like a monk. You just sell all your shit and you just live in a garbage can because fuck it.
yeah, you're just done with it.
It's been around
yeah.
for 1,999 years. I'm kind of fucking over it, to be quite honest.
I think that would be the killer of living forever. Like I think eventually you would just be too bored.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually I'm gonna get bored of like video games and all that stuff. Then I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna travel, and then I'm gonna go everywhere, and then I'm like, all right, how long do I gotta wait until I can travel to space? Well, that's gonna be another 300 or 400 years. And you're like, all right,
I guess
so
I'll,
you just gotta sit around
practice sleeping, I guess.
Yeah. You gotta sit around and wait on that, and then you go to space, and then that'll get old. And eventually, I'd just be like, put me in a bubble, and then just shoot me towards the nearest galaxy that you think will have life. And they'd be like, all right, but the fastest you can go is the speed of light. And I'd be like, cut that down a little bit.
Yeah, we're not
Have
trying to
speed of
fucking
light.
rush anything here. Got some time.
And then I'll just stasis out for a billion years or so. Come skating in somewhere and be like, all right. But the way we're measuring this, the way that we know that the magnetic polar swap is happening, as the way it looks like this is an actual thing. Of course, it could mean that it's not swapping and that it's just going to go away and we're all going to be dead. But I like to think that it's going to flip over. Our magnetic field can be measured for strength, and it is depleting 5 times faster than when we originally started monitoring it. So since we've started monitoring it, we've known that it has been decreasing for our entire existence, basically. When the switches over, it'll have its strongest point, right? Like the poles will flop, and then it's just going to be like a brand new magnet kicked off. This is the life cycle of Earth. Like there has to be a give and take. There can't be a constant forever.
Yeah.
You know, it has to change. It turns out the sun does it like all the time. Like every 100 years, it flips.
Really?
Yeah, we don't even notice. Like it has probably happened during. Like it obviously didn't happen exactly 100 years ago from today. So
Sure.
it has happened probably in our lifetime without a question. So what it would mean if it happened on Earth? Well, first of all, you're going to look at what they believe to be several thousand years of depletion before it gets so weak that the liquid core flops. Because that's what you're doing. This is basically a magnet staying in stasis right now. When that field breaks down enough, it'll tip. It'll make that tipping point, and then the reversal happens, and that is like a generator kick-starting. That rotation will take about 100 years to complete, and when that rotation is complete, we've just started the Earth again. Generator back up, magnetic fields will stabilize. But during that couple thousand years leading up to it, you can look at changing weather patterns. We're already seeing flowers blooming outside of season in places like Europe. Like London had a group of flowers bloom in December, and they've never done that before. Like things like that are going to happen. You are going to see earthquake activity. You're gonna see it can include asteroid like comet um, production could actually like impacts could be on the rise because we don't have the magnetic protection that we once did.
Oh, that's nuts.
So there are some actual things that you will see. Electrical grid instability is a big one. So when the actual flip starts to happen, we're going to lose most of that protection, and then it's going to go haywire. It's going to be all over the place while it's flipping over, and they said it could actually completely break down the electrical grid that we use,
Really?
as long as we're still using the same one.
Wow.
Yeah, because we use the movement of electrons, right, for our electricity.
Yeah.
And so if you flop the magnetic poles, might not be able to, or especially if there's none, you won't be able to push power. So there's some things,
That's fucking crazy.
some things to work around.
So could
But-
that be partially attributed to global warming, or rather, could global warming be partially attributed to the poles shifting?
It doesn't look like anything we do can affect it. It's all has to do with the liquid around the iron core, the magma. It's that liquid metal around a solid iron core is what causes that giant magnetic field.
Okay.
So you're looking at a shift in flow, basically, where they're running one way, and as that breaks down, it'll kick and swift and almost turn into a storm in there, and then we'll build power going the other direction. We're just a big generator
So weird.
created by some being for a science lab project that he forgot about and threw in his closet 6 billion years ago, and he's going to open it up and go, oh, dude, there's something growing on my science
fucking
project.
Gross.
Smush.
Relativity. Fuck.
You didn't see that one coming. So yeah, we're looking at a couple thousand years before anything crazy happens, but it is happening. So guess chalk one up to the conspiracy theorists.
I mean,
Sorta.
you stand in the dark throwing darts, like you're bound to hit something eventually.
Yeah, and that's like standing in the dark and actually finding a dart but not hitting shit. Before they've been throwing pencils and nickels, and they finally found a dart. It was a real theory, but when they tell you that everybody's going to die and it's happening in a day, like on December 12th the poles will switch like that.
What?
Wrong.
Why would you sell your house? Like I'm still back on that. Like why not just keep your house? And
Have you seen the ticket price to ride a comet with Jesus? Astronomical. It's got to be $40,000 or $50,000 to ride that ride, right?
God, what do you think the scalpers get for him?
Ooh,
Those dudes are just like,
jeez.
yeah.
I don't know. Go on StubHub. See what the
Comet ride with Jesus. Ticket price. Is it COMET?
yeah.
Jesus.
I bet
Bypasses
that's got
the
to
comet. Catchthecomet.org. Oh fuck, this is a real thing.
This is the greatest thing ever uncovered on this podcast. That you can get actual tickets to ride a comet with Jesus.
Oh, this is like, it doesn't say where. Catch
If they have tickets, we should buy one and then give it away on,
Yeah.
on air.
Oh, okay.
It'd be
this
like,
is
dude, did you win something from that podcast? I'd be, yeah, man, I won a ticket to ride a comet with
Won a ticket
Jesus.
to ride,
Shit was
dog.
crazy.
Is that your ticket? Heaven's Gate religious group. Evidently, the comet is just some like transit thing. So they just took Jesus out of my Google search, and they're like, "Well, we got you a comet."
It's good enough. The Jesus comet already left. You missed that one.
Fuck. There's got to be another one, right?
Oh yeah, he comes around,
Yeah,
right?
he's got money to make. He's got to sell more tickets. He's on tour. He's on tour right now. He doesn't make shit for money on fucking on iTunes anymore. So
No,
he's gotta hit the road, man. He's gotta go see those worlds that his dad made.
doesn't he make like 10% of every Christian's income?
Us, I think so. That like that's what
It's like,
you're
yeah,
supposed to
that's
give,
the
right?
tidings or whatever. I worked with a guy when I was a contractor overseas. So we were making fucking bank, right? Like, this was my first contract, so it's like 140,000 a year, and this dude gave 10% of that
No,
straight away to the church.
no.
Like as soon as he got it, he was like, "Shwa." And I was like, dude, like you're buying a
Hmm.
church.
Yeah, and a Cadillac, maybe like
Mm.
an Acura. Like someone's getting a mid range luxury car because of your church
What?
donations.
That's one dude dropping like 12 or 13,000
That's
dollars.
fucking insane, dude.
Yep.
There was a dude that worked at the company that we worked at together, um, that left before you got there, and he popped up in the newspaper a couple weeks after leaving the company, and like his family was like broke, but the whole time his family was giving like 70% of their earnings to the fucking church, dude. Like,
Was that the dude that handed out the
yeah,
pamphlets?
yeah, that guy. I had a room with him once, and he was like, I'm laying on the bed watching television or rubbing my phone, some shit, and he's in the middle of brushing his teeth, walks over to his suitcase and finds this half sheet of paper and hands it to me. And it's like how to get saved by the Jengus. And it's like
Yeah.
this is so fucking unfair because typically when the Jehovah's Witnesses come around, like they knock, and then I don't have to see them face to face, but you're just living in here with me, and I have to listen to you talk about this. It's like he had sleep apnea real bad, so it's like if you believe that God made you who you are, then you believe that God gave you sleep apnea, and he sounds like kind of an asshole if that's the if that's the case. And you
Dude.
might want to look into other avenues. Like there might be someone else to give your money to that might.
So I am from the South, where Jengus is a big deal. It's kind of a big deal down there. And so I see my Facebook where people are just always like, I need prayers. They'll say anything like, I busted a tire today. I need your prayers. Like it's like it's just, hey, how you doing? Another one of those. They just throw it out all the time. And someone, I wish I could remember the person that quoted this. It was like George Carlin or somebody said, people that believe in prayer believe in a God that knows all, so it created the problem that you are now asking him to alleviate. And that is like you just hit that on the fucking
Yeah.
head, dude. That's insanity. Like
That's.
you,
Could you like fix this, please? Please?
so okay. So if there is a God, that means he gave my kid cancer, and now I'm gonna pray to him to fix the cancer. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the best scam ever. Like if he, let's say prayers are money, and he can use those and like it little God 7-Eleven to buy crap. He's like, oh, dude, I'm low on prayers this
Yeah,
month.
sure. I fucking could really.
I'm gonna give all
I
these
want,
kids
I want
cancer.
4 taquitos today instead of 3. Surprise, motherfucker! It's so
It's
fucked.
so
It's
incredibly insane.
it's interesting
stuff.
what people will subscribe to willingly, and what they question at the same time. It's like you could tell them something that they didn't know, and they will tell you that you're full of shit. But you believe all of that? Like
Yeah.
you need some balance in your life, dog, because that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Like I get it if you believe everything.
Sure, yeah,
Like, whatever, it doesn't matter what people tell you. If you're one of those people that retweet those fake ABC News things, like in all seriousness, like you don't know that the Onion is fake because there's a lot of people like that too,
Mhm.
which is sad. and they'll be like, I told you, and then they'll post like, I told you she was a lizard person. Onion.
I think that's like my secret favorite fucking conspiracy theory in the internet is the lizard people that harvest negative energy, and they're in like all the positions of power around the world, and they just like they um they cause war so they can harvest the negative energy of all the humans around Earth. And like if you watch interviews with like George Bush or Barack Obama, you can see his pupils blink. It's like, dog, that was Men in Black. Like that's not real, dude. Will Smith isn't actually a secret agent. I don't know if whatever. What? All right, you just keep making videos. Don't talk to me about it.
Oh, well, man, you want to get into a little bit of E3 action?
God, yeah. I mean,
This was just a 50-minute intro,
right.
for the show, for the big show.
There was a lot of stuff. It was I think it was better. I think it was a good year for E3. I don't know. A lot of people were talking about it. I don't know. People have been talking about E3 being dead for quite a while. So the fact that it isn't dead is like it's just people waiting for the apocalypse. Like you
Yeah, I don't think it was anything that special, honestly. It was, I mean, like, I don't want to say that there was some good stuff, but it's really just games. It's just GameCon. Like, there's not a lot of hardware stuff coming out. Did Nintendo do anything at E3?
yeah, the new Zelda.
Yeah, that was it, right? 100% Zelda.
They talked about Pokemon, of course, and then I guess they had a like a little side room that they had Paper Mario there, but that wasn't at their main booth and it wasn't a part of their press conference. So,
Oh, they're remaking Paper Mario?
well, I mean, there's been a few sequels to it. It's not really a remake. It's just another Mario game. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
fucking
But nothing about the
Koopa's back.
NX or anything,
No,
right?
no, they didn't bring anything up about that. New Zelda looks
Mm.
super rad though. I think it might change Zelda the way that Ocarina of Time changed Zelda. So I think it might be the beginning of a new era of Zelda, cuz I mean it's pretty much been the same since Ocarina of Time, with a couple exceptions on like handheld with like Triforce Heroes and shit like that. But I mean like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, like those are I mean not the same game, but they're very very similar. Like the core mechanics are very 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 similar to one another. And I think the
Right.
new one with the open world, and they're adding in like survival aspects to it. So you're like out chopping trees down to make a fire to like cook food and shit like that. And there's gear that you can get, and like armor and like clubs and spears and shit like that. I imagine once you get the master sword, your sword isn't going to break after 4 swings, but as of right now that's what it is. That's what it looks like. But it looks fucking great. Like it looks like an HD Zelda game, and it looks like a lot of fun.
That's cool. I'm glad to see that that Nintendo does still have a little gusto to
Yeah,
it.
for sure. There's definitely something there.
I just wonder if there's going to be a point in time where they're just going to make games, like if they're going to go the way of Sega.
I don't know, because I mean their handhelds are such a carry for them that I don't know if they ever will.
You think they make enough off of the handheld to keep making consoles even if they're losing money?
That's actually been the way. They make so much money on like their handheld business alone keeps that company afloat. And that's the way it's been since Game Boy came out. Like it's the handheld market outside of the United States is gigantic. Like it's fucking hardly a thing here. But you look at all the shit that the 3DS is capable of, like the Street Pass and all that stuff, and like a lot of proximity stuff, like when you're near somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It obviously that must be useful somewhere, but that place just
Right.
isn't the US. Actually, I took my there was a few days where I took my 3DS to college with me, and then everybody that has Street Pass on like pings my 3DS, and then you can go see how many people you walk by that had a 3DS. I don't know what the proximity is on that, but I would come home and there would be like 10 people that I had walked close enough to pick them up. So I mean, maybe there is, but I don't use public transportation,
Probably not.
so
Probably not like Korea or
yeah.
Japan, where public transportation is insanely
Yeah,
popular.
I mean, I didn't spend too much time in Japan, but when I was there, like there was a lot of handheld gaming on like the trains and stuff like that. So yeah, I think maybe they'll get out of making consoles, but I don't think they'll ever get out of making handhelds. I mean, not never, but
Did they release anything new for the 3DS?
Pokemon was the big subject for the DS or 3DS, whatever, which looks. What did I write down? It looks cool. It looks good. Um, you, so the Pokemon is like that rock paper scissor thing. Like it's like a wheel of like this is greater than
Right.
that is greater than that, which is weaker than whatever. But like it used to be that you needed to know that stuff, but now it shows you like on the screen while you're picking your attacks if it's going to be like basic, not effective, or super effective. So it's kind
Oh,
of like you don't have to. I mean, that was part of the fun when I was a kid was knowing like oh shit, this is better than that. So I need to change my monster to counter that. But
yeah. You had to memorize all that. I got a GBA emulator on my phone.
nice.
That's what I've been playing lately. Is some Ruby or
Oh,
something.
right on. Hell yeah, Ruby was fun.
Yeah, and that's 100%. Like you don't know what's going to be effective or not. Like you gotta do it a couple times where it's not very effective, and you're like, oh shit, dude, I gotta remember what beats this
Yeah.
and what doesn't
Or
do
you
that.
just buckle down because you're on your last Pokemon and you know you're just gonna get fucked because
Yeah.
you were not prepared. Zelda had some.
Oh,
I forgot what I had written down, but he has like a little. He has like a. It looks like the gamepad for the Wii U, and it's called a Sheikah slate, and he like can like look at things with it, and it does stuff. So if there's like runes on the wall or some shit like that, like he can use his little Wii U gamepad to like figure shit out or like open
are you gonna
doors.
have to use your gamepad
I don't know.
to like? That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, as long as it's within reason. I'm not trying to be walking around my fucking apartment
Well,
like an asshole. Just
for sure, be able
what
to
does
turn
this
it
do?
off.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
but if it's an option, that'd be fun. Did they talk about Pokemon Go at all?
I guess it's supposed to release in July. That's not being put out by Nintendo, so that's not
Mm,
um that's not their jammy jam.
I didn't know if they own the rights to that because they're talking about Nintendo last year talked about doing mobile games.
Doing MOBA?
Mobile,
Oh,
mobile games.
okay. I mean, they got that what are they releasing here soon? They put out that Miitomo thing where you can control your me and like dress it up and all that shit, and it just asks you questions. So it's like this really crazy, poorly veiled marketing research app is essentially what it is. It's like, what's your favorite movie? What do you like to do? So it's like it's them just
What's
collecting
your
like
social security
right.
number?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's they're just collecting data and letting you change clothes. Like you're just helping them build better shit for their games and consoles, maybe. Or maybe
If we were really friends, you'd give me your mom's credit card number.
and then
um,
God, what else? I mean VR was there, obviously, in
VR was in everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everybody talked about VR. The console guys. I did Xbox. I didn't do PlayStation. Um, I don't know how you feel about the new consoles coming out, but I think it's kind of a big fuck you. But they say that if you're willing, that people nowadays are willing to upgrade a cell phone every year that costs more than a console,
Hmm.
then there should be no problem in the fact that they can improve their console and sell a new version every 3 to 5 years. Even though when the Xbox One came out, longevity was a big deal.
I I think it was. I think what we're seeing with consoles right now is the same thing that we saw with video cards just recently. Like suddenly that 10 series Nvidia came out and the prices were cheaper. So now technology, I think we were there was a gap there where technology wasn't going, like we needed a breakthrough real quick to actually be able to put out a console that was worth a fuck. But instead, it's just a constant race to see who can get it out first. So fuck it, we'll do it now. But they're just not. And now we're seeing that advancement with the video cards. So now they're capable of making more powerful consoles. And in my opinion, they should have held off, especially seeing VR coming down the road. Like that didn't pop up yesterday. Like that's been on the horizon for a number of years. Oculus has been around for a while. The Facebook acquisition was years ago.
So I wonder if the kind of like what you're saying, like if we almost got a half-ass prototype with the Xbox One and the PS4 because PC gaming had gone so much ahead of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 that they thought that they were going to lose way too much ground in this 5 year period. Like, what has it been? Three,
Uh,
three and a half
yeah, I think
years.
3 years. I think Xbox One came out in like November of 2013 or something like that.
Yeah. So let's say 3 years that the Xbox One has been out. I mean, that's not a long time for console generation. Xbox 360 was out for 8. So what if they felt like the those 3 years were just going to put them in too much of a deficit to catch up? Like they were like, "Dude, VR's coming. It's going to be 3 years from now. Like we could hold off till then." And they were like, "Nope. Like PC is going to be. It's just going to be too far to reach. Like we're going to lose everyone.
Hmm.
So we'll just put out this hunk of shit with an external power block and no 4K capability whatsoever, even though the technology was already there." Which, by the way, they're not saying 4K gaming
For
for any
uh
for the Xbox One,
for the
at least.
Scorpio is going to be capable of 4K gaming.
What's the
100%.
Scorpio?
The Scorpio is the new Xbox project. Project Scorpio is what it's called.
Oh, uh, well, at the E3 thing, it said 4K video, um, and I think it was 4K Blu-ray, but the gaming was just HDR. It was the new high resolution,
That
but is not 4K.
that might have been the Xbox One S, like the
Yeah, that thing.
okay.
The Xbox One S, which is what's the one that is released now, the one that you can go
Yeah, you go
buy
order it.
whenever.
What is it
Yeah.
come out August or some shit or November
Yeah,
or
I think so.
something?
But it's coming down the pipeline. So now what is? I guess I didn't see the Scorpio
So
thing.
the Project Scorpio is going to be like what runs VR. Like that's going to be the console that if you want to run HoloLens, that's the console that you need to get. Like it's I don't know shit about like teraflops and all this goofy shit, but it's 4K, it's 4K, and it's going to be it's more powerful than a PlayStation 4, like 4.5 times more powerful than a PlayStation 4. Like it's a fucking beast of a console.
So you're telling me that I can buy a new Xbox whatever, One S and then in a couple of months or a year, there's going to be another one more powerful.
So the Xbox One S wasn't intended to be more powerful. It's just as time progresses, um, upgrades become cheaper. So they were able to upgrade the core hardware inside of the Xbox One for a cheaper price and reduce the price of the Xbox. So the Xbox One S is cheaper because of that, or it's the same price because of that, but it's slightly more powerful. But then next year is going to be the release of Project Scorpio, and that's a whole nother fucking monster. So what they're saying right now is that there's not going to be any Xbox One like Scorpio specific games. They're going to be like the games have to be for now. We'll see how they do it because Xbox has been pretty bad with this console generation about like it's gonna have this and then just pulling the fucking rug out from under, well, really themselves. And that, yeah, fully online required, whatever, we can talk about that some other time. But this new one is, they're supposed to, yeah, just be better, and it you should be able to run all of your Xbox One games. It's not going to be considered backwards compatibility because it's technically still an Xbox One, supposedly, according to them now. Like I said, we'll fucking
Right.
see what it turns into.
It was such a crazy thing with the new hardware. I mean, they plastered 4K all over the Xbox One S, and you got to really read it to realize that it's just they added a larger color spectrum to the 1080p games. So your blacks will be darker. Like the gradient will be more distinguishable. So that's a good thing because if you look, there's like I think it's called HDR. I hope I'm saying that right.
I'm pretty
But
sure
it's
you're
the
right.
so like you can get a TV now that's 1080p that has HDR or
Mhm.
whatever. But if you have a 4K television and you think that buying an Xbox One S is going to give you 4K gaming, which there aren't any made for the Xbox, but there are for PC. That's not happening. The Gears of War is not going to be a 4K game. It'll just HDR takes better advantage of what's already there. And it will do 4K video. So you're going to be able to go onto the Xbox marketplace and watch, the new Avengers movie in 4K or whatever if it's available.
Keyboard cat. That's
Yeah.
probably not in
So,
4K, but a boy can dream.
yeah.
I didn't see.
So
Unfortunately, that the PlayStation 4 one was, or the PlayStation 1 was the one that I walked out of the house for. So I missed that. What's it called? Their show, whatever their symposium, whatever the fuck. But everybody. I mean, I got onto Twitter to try and figure it out, and then I was quickly reminded that it's just a bunch of fucking fanboys that are just slinging turds at each other. It's like, well, I'm
yeah.
so glad I don't own an Xbox. It's like, I'm really stoked I don't own a console, period. Well, I guess I own a Wii U, so fuck. But like, that that conflict is so worn down that it's so stupid. But yeah, I bailed on that and then tried to go find, I guess, God of War. They're remaking this. I'm not real sure what's going on with this because the character in the video is Kratos. So,
Right.
like, where in the story is this picking up? Like, did he become the God of War and then, like, left? They're like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to go become a Viking now. And now he's going to go fight them?
He's a father, so it starts off and that what I don't know is if you're going to end up playing as the child.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
that's what I
so
imagined.
if you guys didn't see the video, it starts off with Kratos, um, just being a real piece of shit dad. I mean, he's being real awesome to the kid.
Oh, it's Father's
He's like,
Day, by the way.
yeah, he's like, you know, this was your mother's knife, and your mother taught you to hunt. So this is obviously like while he was off whaling on stuff, the mom raised him, and the mom's gone. I don't
Yeah,
remember
no
that. I don't
mention
know
of.
what's going on. It was probably in one of the other. I don't have a PlayStation, so I haven't played any of these except for like on PSP. Um, so he's taking him out in the woods, and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna go hunt because I'm hungry, and you're gonna go hunt." And he gives him his bow, and the kid scares off a deer. And then there's a bunch of orcs that jump up out of nowhere, and the kid's not like this is oof,
Yeah,
more orcs in the
business
woods.
as
Like,
usual. Everything's
yep,
fucking fine. They're like 100 feet maybe away from their house, like their shack
yep,
that
oh
doesn't have
yeah.
locks on the doors. Like,
They skipped down the hill, and then monsters
yeah,
appeared. 12-foot tall fucking
yeah,
monsters. Okay. But I guess if you're Kratos, you don't really care because he takes that ice axe and pins that son of a bitch
yeah,
to the wall.
yeah. Clearly,
It looks good.
oh
I mean,
yeah.
let's not take anything away from it. The game looks
That
amazing.
troll
If
shows
that's what
up
it's
and
going to
just
look like,
talks a bunch of shit to him and smashes him into the ground.
and they hinted at something deeper in the storyline because the troll says, "What is it?" He's like, "No, stop," or "Please don't," to the kid, and then he shoots his dad with a
Yeah,
freaking arrow like an asshole.
yeah. There was
But
yeah. There was a weird. There was definitely like some like he like talks shit to Kratos like intentionally like, hey motherfucker, I'm gonna send you to Valhalla, and then he just like starts
yeah,
beating him on the ground. Ping, 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 ping.
yeah.
And the kid is useless.
The
Yeah.
Yep, the kid picks up his arrow and he goes shoot him. So Kratos can tackle the guy and break his horns off, but he can't kill him. He needs his kid to shoot him with his fucking bow and arrow.
He's trying to
But
he's
whatever.
trying to teach him. Man. Come on.
He's trying to teach him, and but that thing looks at the kid and then says like, "Please don't."
I'm your father.
Yeah, I was. And then so he shoots Kratos with the arrow, and then he doesn't even hurt him. So the arrow that's supposed to kill this giant troll just disappoints Kratos. That's all it did. Like he looks at the arrow and gives him like a, ugh, you useless little
Your mother
shit.
did raise you.
That's why I killed her.
Yeah, I mean it
It
looks
was
sick. It's the God of War idea is super cool. Like I didn't own it. I mean I played the first God of War and I think maybe the second one, but none of the never finished off the story, and it's a ton of fun and the story is cool. So and Norse mythology is badass. So
And this one, he's fucking super Viking though. Like his ability wasn't like a god mode or whatever. It was called like Viking something. When he
it was
entered
called
his
Spartan something. It was like Spartan Rage.
was it Spartan?
Yeah, it was like
Okay,
Unleashed
so
Spartan
it still
Rage or
is
some
Spartan
shit.
Rage.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
and that's what.
But he's definitely like Viking esque. He's got the big beard now.
Yeah, his
and-
physique's totally different. Like he used to be
Yeah.
like, now he's like Viking jacked. Like he's fucking big. Like before
Yeah.
he was like martial artist jacked, like UFC fighter jacked, and now he's like the mountain
Chuck
jacked.
Liddell.
Like he's a big motherfucker.
But yeah, they're definitely one of the coolest looking games that I saw. I mean, I'm not gonna go buy a PlayStation for it, but it was fucking cool.
Yeah,
looking.
yeah. I'm still waiting for that reason to buy a PlayStation, and I think that'll be a console that I probably just never own. Same with the Xbox One. But
I've bought an Xbox One and I use it all the time for Netflix, and I use Xbox Video, Microsoft Video, whatever it's called. Is actually pretty good. So they get like releases before they come out on DVD.
oh yeah,
So I got like Star Wars, Force Awakens like 2 days early, stuff like that.
I still need
So I
to see
use it
that
all the
again.
time for that. I have not played a game on it. Fuck, Titanfall or some shit like it's been holy
yeah.
hell.
Did you see
It's
Titanfall
been a
2?
while. Oh, it's so
It
good.
looks so badass. Looks
Yeah.
so badass.
And you know why it looks badass? Because it's just more Titanfall.
yeah, yeah, yep.
Nailed it, guys.
job.
That's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
You didn't fuck it up. They added that portal thing, which looks cool to me, like where you can, if somebody's camping and you can, I don't know how it works, but they showed it. Like the dude's like camping and shooting from a corner, and then a portal opens up behind him. And the guy just comes in and like kicks his legs out from underneath him and fucking boots him in the face.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that. That's fucking legit.
Yeah, it's yeah. It, like a little portal opens up and your pilot comes through and he just like sweeps the leg and then punches dude in the dome and pins him to the ground and kills him. But he thought he was cool. He was, he's camping from the corner.
Fucking classic internet.
So yeah, it looks like they're going to there's going to be areas where you're going to have to be out of your Titan and you're going to have to fight indoors, Call of Duty
Right
style.
on.
Like
It's still handled super well. I mean, the first one, obviously, I didn't play the second
Yeah.
one, but both versions handled well, like as a pilot or as the mech.
right, and that was one of the few parkour ones that I enjoyed.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't. You're going to be running around in a giant robot. You need that extreme parkour element to even make it worth.
Yeah,
Or you're just going to want to be in the mech.
Right.
Like there's times when I didn't give a shit. Like I'd have Titanfall ready and it didn't matter. I was on a kill streak and I'm going and I'm doing well as a
Yeah.
pilot.
it makes it way
So
easier to evade the mechs too. Like they're fucking monsters. They do a shit ton of damage, but like a pilot can parkour his ass the fuck out of town and avoid getting
Yep.
smoked by one of those things.
But the new weapons are those are cool. They showed like the shield defense that they had in the last one. They showed him using it to destroy another mech in the trailer.
Oh yeah, like
That-
the heat shield it will just smoke a pilot if a pilot comes too close to the
Right.
Titan that's using it.
So that's now going to be weaponized, which is way better because that shield was cool because it would capture all the bullets and then send them back. But that was it. The other ones were better. So you didn't get used except for when you were a noob
It's
because
the first thing they give you, isn't it?
it's like the first thing
Yeah.
you get used. So now there was one where he's like battling, two Titans are going at it. Like boom, boom, left, right, left. And then the dude launches that shield and kind of force pushes the other Titan.
Nice.
And that's a cool feature. Like that makes that shield worthwhile. So I'm really excited for that. I hope it's same day launch for PC as Xbox. Which a lot of them are.
shit.
It should be available on that
Yeah, that's gonna
that
be
Windows 10 thing.
Yeah.
Like it might not be on Steam or whatever, but I can grab it off the Windows 10.
It'll be on
It,
Origin.
yeah, it should be on
Yeah.
Origin.
So it'll
But-
probably be on Origin, be on Xbox One, and then also be on the Windows 10 marketplace. Which is so fucking weird to me. That's a weird mess right now that they have going on with that.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, definitely.
But Titanfall was a big win for me at E3. I don't know about you. Most of the VR games just seem weird and unimpressive.
It's not-
Serious Sam was
it's not there
okay
for me
looking.
yet. Like it's
Yeah.
still like learning to crawl right now. So I don't know. I think it's interesting that it's coming up and that it's going to be a thing in the near future. I mean, I don't know how much of a thing it's going to be, but it's cool that it exists right now. And when Nick was up here for that music festival, one thing he told me was like, do not judge it until you try it because it's pretty fucking awesome.
Oh,
So,
it's a lot of
yeah.
fun. So I have the Gear VR.
Mhm.
Now, the Gear VR, if you have a Galaxy S7 and a good computer, is powerful enough that you use your S7 as the motion detection and as just a 4K monitor. Or it's better than 4K. It's whatever the hell it is. But it's really good monitor. Then I use a app called... Let me bring it up real quick. It's not going to show it to me. I'll find the app here in a minute. But there is an app called Trinus, Trinus VR. Now, this app allows you to tether your phone to your computer, and now all you're doing is broadcasting like NVIDIA Shield,
Yeah.
the VR game from your computer to the screen on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use my Xbox controller just like the Oculus Rift.
Nice.
So, I played a couple games with it.
What's available?
Pretty good.
Like, what can you play on it?
I've got a little run-through games like In Mind. You can play any game. It just won't be the VR experience. But if you want the like super close up, like no screen or crap,
Yeah, you can just use
uh,
use that as a
you
monitor whenever.
you can use that as a monitor. That's right. And so that was cool. The I did like roller coaster rides and stuff, which were there. I mean, they're a lot of fun. It the roller coaster, like when it would tip over like a big hill, like the hairs in your arm will stand up. Like it, you're getting that sensation of being there. Because when you look around, it's wherever you look, you look. I mean, you can look at the chick next to you sitting in the chair with her arms up, screaming. Like you can watch her facial expression. You can look at your chair. You can actually look down far enough to see the stand where they had the camera
Oh,
mounted.
nice, classy.
And I did a like a whitewater river rafting that was also pretty cool, man. You're going through the water. You can look up, you can look behind you, you can look at the other people screaming and freaking
Can
out.
smash your virtual face on a virtual rock. It's really the full experience. It's
Yeah.
remarkable.
So, I was debating on getting the Gear VR because Gear VR is cheap. I mean, if you buy a Galaxy S7 now, it's free if you got AT&T. With Verizon, it's like $312 back for buying one of these, and the Gear VR is $100.
Oh, nice.
So it's like you can get if you just commit, you can get all this tech for basically no extra. And it's made by Oculus Rift. Like it on the side of it, it says Gear VR powered by Oculus. So the fit and finish is the same as an Oculus Rift. Now, of course, as complexity of games gets better, this isn't going to hold
Sure.
up. It doesn't have the sensors that you put around your room so it can sense your body movement. So it's only head tracking.
Gotcha.
But if you're doing like a first person shooter where it's like right now first person shooters are you are stable
Uh huh.
and then you use the controller to shoot things, the phone will do that excellent. So the reviews when I read them said that like if you're gonna put your feet into the virtual reality pool and you have one of these phones, get this because where it's at right now, you're gonna get almost as good of an experience for
A fucking
presumably
yeah,
free if
fraction
you
of the
were gonna get a
price.
new phone anyways.
That's insane.
Like if you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a new phone, yeah, you can go this route. So it has been fun. It's gimmicky. It is. I like to watch Netflix on it because when you go to the Netflix app, it puts you in a virtual living room. I'm sitting on a couch. I have a very nice apartment, very nice in the VR world. It's like the Aspen Mountains. Like that's what it looks like. It looks like Aspen. So I got like Rocky Mountains outside the big bay window, and then you have like 180-inch screen. I don't know. It's giant. It's like a movie theater screen.
Yeah.
Inside your living room, but it's like bordered. There's like posters, movie posters around, and you can look down at the couch and your remote, and you can look behind you if you wanted to at your stairwell, and then you just sit and you watch TV like you're watching a giant fucking TV. Which is, I mean, it's so
imagine you could just like put on some goggles and sit in your living room and watch television. So what the fuck?
what it's good for when I'm in hotel rooms, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So I'm in this shitty hotel room. I'm in some crap fucking, I don't want to say names, but Westbestern, and it's got like a little couch on the side, and I got a little dinky TV. I put the headset on. I put my nice JBLs on. Like when you get the good theater sound, and then I can sit and watch some badass movies. You can watch 3D. It does 3D movies, so you can watch all the latest titles coming out. That ton of fun for, like I said, I got a rebate, so it's basically free.
Nice.
I'll use it. But VR is progressing to, I don't know how this is going to work, but did you see the PC gamer section at E3?
No, I didn't.
All right, so they had the CEO of AMD, which is Lisa Su. She was out there unveiling like the Polaris cards, which is the answer to the 1080 and 1070. They're the $299 for VR capable cards.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, $299 you can get a card that is capable to run, as she described it, butter smooth VR. Um,
Nice.
what they also unveiled is that they teamed up with Alienware, with Dell, I
Yeah.
guess, if we're being honest. And they produced an Alienware backpack. The entire computer is encased in a hard shell backpack that then connects to your VR, so you can walk the fuck around,
Oh my god.
but you still can't see anything. So they showed it with an HTC Vibe, and they had put, and I guess what it is you can put the sensors out there, and then you have the parameters would be in your headset, so it would like warn you. So the guy was like, "Oh, so you could go to a park and play out your favorite games with all the freedom to run around." She was like, "Exactly," and I was
I
like,
wouldn't
"Don't do that,
recommend
dude."
that. Yeah. You're not going to
Somebody's
see
gonna
you're not
drop
gonna
kick
see
the
kids
shit.
coming to just whoop your ass. Yeah. Turns out gaming still isn't widely accepted, especially fucking bebopping around in a park with VR
with a
goggles on. Yeah.
with $8,000 worth of tech
Seriously.
strapped to your.
Yeah, get ready
You
when you
think they'll
pull those
jack you for
goggles
your
off.
fucking?
You're going to see some
You
shit.
think they're gonna jack you for your fucking Jordans, dude? They're gonna wreck you for that computer. They're gonna hit you in the face with a baseball bat just because you won't see it coming. You're gonna be out there with your little PlayStation plastic gun, pew pew pew. And some dude's just gonna wreck you with a baseball bat. But they are trying. I mean, I guess that's the only good thing to take away from that is they're trying to find a way to make it where you can actually go, because that's the point. Be able to go run around, right?
I guess it just to not experience reality anymore, right? That's the point, is to just leave this life and go live these false. Man, people.
That's the point of video games, though.
But this is like
In
for
general,
real. It's so bananas. Like, people already lose their minds in MMOs and like lose their like wives and children and like marry each other in the game and in real life, and like they just have like no outside friends. Like, that's the only thing. Now imagine like the virtual reality end of that, and it being more realistic. Like, people are done. People are done doing things. Like, work is going to have to be a work from home sort of thing for everyone, because
the Oculus Rift did not launch before YouPorn and Pornhub had VR sections launched. just that's a full-on matter of fact. Like, before you could buy a VR headset, they had already done porn in VR.
that's so funny.
That's how you know it's going to stick, right? Isn't that the deal? That's what somebody said.
That was in Tropic
Who was it
Thunder.
was talking about it? Oh, it was.
Yeah.
It was in Tropic Thunder.
I don't know if
Still-
there was any truth behind that. I never looked into that, but I mean it.
Sounds true as
Yeah,
shit.
I mean it.
I was about to quote it as fact because I couldn't remember where it came from. But if you didn't see Tropic Thunder, you're an asshole. But if you don't remember, he said that that the reason that HD video
HD DVD.
didn't take off, HD DVD didn't take off instead of Blu-ray was because the porn industry adopted Blu-ray, and that's probably 100% true.
I mean, there's a lot of money in that. Well, yeah.
And they have now adopted VR. So
There was a pretty funny video on Game Informer. They ran into a couple of the old editors that used to work there that now work out in San Francisco. One's at Capcom, the other one's at Giant Bomb. But Dan Reichert was like, "Hey, you guys need to come with me," and he takes them to this place, to this booth that's called Naughty America, and there's just a fucking enormous line, like an hour-long line at E3 of a bunch of dudes waiting to go watch VR porn in public in front of a line of people waiting to watch VR porn. So
They're just
fucking ridiculous.
handing out lube.
Yeah, just stand here in public and
Try to aim for the bucket while your eyes are closed.
yeah.
Gross. So, I mean, VR is everywhere, man. Did you, if you didn't see the PC show or whatever at E3, you probably missed the real creepy Razer mouse and keyboard montage video.
Oh God, yeah, no.
I don't know. I know they were the sponsor, but I guess they didn't have anything new to unveil. So they were just like this next clip, because I don't know if you've ever watched the PC ones, but they'll have a guest on, and then they'll show like a clip or two of like an upcoming game, but they don't have anybody to talk to about it, so they just like show it.
Okay.
Right? It's like a in between thing to give the next people time to get mic'd up and their props ready.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. So he goes, "All right, this next video is going to be at the core of PC gaming, and we're talking about the mouse and keyboard." And then they played it, and it was just two guest pro gamers talking about just mice and keyboards. That's it.
What?
Not like special ones or like great ones, just like why a mouse and a keyboard is good. And the guy's quote, I wrote it down because it's ridiculous, and I wish I already got the guy's name, but I don't know if they even said it. And he goes, "Yeah, like when I'm playing Overwatch, I need the precision of my mouse, so I can, when I'm Rothel stomping newbies, it's at the E3 like on the giant screen. Yeah, I need it so I can Rothel stomp newbies."
It's this whole video games in media just seem to be so fucking childish. Because I was sitting and watching, a little drunk last night, watching some Heroes of the Storm professionally be played on Twitch. Because I was too drunk to play video games myself. Shit was not going well for me. I was just dying a lot. So I figured I'd watch somebody else. But these guys, like these sportscasters, are talking about these guys, and they're using terms like that, like getting wrecked. It's like, if you guys want people to take you fucking seriously, it's not a tie and a blazer that's going to do it. It's taking Raffle Stomp out of your fucking vocabulary and not talking like that at all. It's
the worst part about this was the guy was, if he's not 40, he's got to lay off the Cheetos.
Oh, okay.
He's just rough. He's probably in his 20s. He looked like he was in his mid to late 30s. Like he had like a big, he's like fat with a big like rustly red beard, and he looks like that damn comedian. I'm not gonna remember his name, so it's not gonna matter.
Ralphie May.
But the guy that we watched his special, and Melanie didn't laugh once. You remember that when we were at the old apartment? The guy was like married to the hot girl, but he's like a giant ogre dude. He shows up in a bunch of random like video game movies, and he talks real slow.
I don't know who you're talking about.
It doesn't matter. Either way, if somebody else thinks of it, definitely send it to me. But that's what he looked like. Like he just was overweight. He's got this like nasty neck beard.
Yeah.
He's like,
neckbeard's a must.
I need it for when I'm Rothel stomping newbies. And so the best part is, like, if you want any proof that people don't want this type of projection of esports, whatever you want to call it, of the video game industry, when it ended, it was this awkward, like super awkward.
Nice.
Like
those
Well,
were
and
those
most
two
people
guys that
just
were in
sat
that
there.
video that were like, do we clap for ourselves?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And the host was just like, "All right, let's keep going." But it was uncomfortable. One, because I think not only was the language just weird and unnecessary, the whole video was unnecessary. It didn't make any fucking sense. Like, they're trying to tell a bunch of people that are at the PC Gamers Conference why you need a mouse and a keyboard. Like, you gotta watch the video. He goes, like, what are the reasons, why you like this? And he's like, oh, the precision aiming of a mouse. And then the other guy comes on, and he's like, letters on my keyboard. Like, kicks back over.
There's
Because,
somebody in the back of the crowd goes,
track wheel.
"Who the fuck are you?"
It was, and it's not very long, but it was just.
It was long enough,
just
obviously. It's long enough to
uncomfortable.
to stick with you, so it wasn't good.
It did. Yeah, go find it and watch it.
I'm good.
And it was
I'll take your word for it.
you gotta want it. You want it.
There was
So
there was
good job, Razor.
Forza. I guess Forza 6 is coming out, and I heard recently that they sent two photographers to Australia to film the sky for an entire summer. So, if you have a better job in mind, give me a shout. But I'm pretty sure that that is the best fucking thing that anybody could have to do for work.
He just set up a camera and every day looked at it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he probably put it right outside the hotel so he could just.
Right, yeah. Aborigines haven't stolen this one yet, so let's go get
Yeah.
drunk. Fuck it. Let's go
Um,
surf.
I will say this about owning Xbox 360 or all the Xboxes, right? Until the third one, which was one or whatever. Um, the the Forza series has got to be some of the most stunning graphics.
It always looks
Every
pretty incredible.
Every time they come out, it's like, dude, I find myself going to the showroom and just doing the where you can go around the car and like open up all the compartments
Yeah.
and it's god damn, it's impressive.
It's pretty nuts.
So
Like they look
and
like in the few times that they're advertising that game, that it does look like a car commercial in the beginning for like a Corvette or some shit. And then it's
Yeah.
when the Lamborghini pops up that you're like, something's wrong here. It's like, oh, that's not real. Gotcha.
yeah, and it's gonna keep getting better. And I know it's the same with sports games. They have great graphics because gameplay isn't like you're not having to cram an entire imaginary world
Sure.
into it. It's just tracks, and so you got the same amount of data available. Let's say you can put 60 gigs into a game on average. Some of them are now they're getting up to like 112
So
gigs.
big.
So
Dude,
so let's say you got 150 gigs, and you got to put Skyrim on 150 gigs, or you got to put 8 tracks and 20 cars.
yeah. Yeah, that's a
on
big
like,
difference.
so you got a lot of space for graphics. They are incredibly stunning. So
Speaking of Skyrim. So they're remastering Skyrim for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So they're instead of disguising it behind the fucking easily saw through veil that was Fallout 4, they're just they're taking the community mods that people made for Skyrim and fucking releasing it as a full price title. But they're
Yeah,
not calling it
that
Skyrim
was-
2, at least. I mean, at least
No.
they're not just stealing your fucking money this time.
the Skyrim remastered thing, I saw a post about it, and of course they were like, "Well, here come the PC fanboys," and this is the greatest example of like where PC players can just point and laugh and mush. Like the modding community has made far better than any remastered whatever is going to come out of the Skyrim thing, and they do it all the time. You can get skins that turn the thing into whatever
Or you
you
can
want.
turn a dragon into Macho Man Randy Savage, for fuck's sake. Like, you can do some shit.
So
And you can have his voice
Skyrim-
come out instead of him roaring. So,
Skyrim probably is the most modded PC game in a long time. And now Fallout's got a bunch too, but all of Bethesda's
Yeah.
stuff is just
yeah, leaving that open
It's
source
loaded
like
down.
that.
yeah. So that's hilarious that you've got to buy a modded version.
And it's super cool for people that didn't get to play it the first time or never got around to playing it. But like, I put quite a few hours into Skyrim, and I am not about to go do that again.
What does Skyrim cost now on Steam?
Probably $20 if I were to guess.
Probably. Yeah. It probably goes on sale every now and then for $9.99.
Mhm.
So you can get a PC one for $10 probably on a good weekend, and then get the free skins to upgrade the graphics. I have it. I got Skyrim with well upgraded graphics. Like it looks gorgeous. For $10, or you can pay 60 to play it
Yeah,
on Xbox.
it's
One.
a weird. It's it's just an obvious cash grab. Like, there's so many. these companies are getting bigger and they're starting to just become the same shitty companies that like we were happy that they weren't. Does that make sense? Like we were happy
Oh
that
yeah,
Bethesda wasn't like EA, but now here's Bethesda doing this shit like something that EA would do. And it's
and I feel like their intention was
yeah, Skyrim's
they
20
were like, well,
bucks.
it's not fair that PC players are getting this gorgeous experience and console can't. And they were like, "Oh, it's true. We should upgrade Skyrim for Xbox One so these guys can enjoy it over and over again like so many PC players had." And then somebody got a hold of it in marketing and
This is worth money.
they were like, "Oh, this is just a new game. This is $60." Like if it was $20 like Skyrim is now, like if you could buy just the mod, but they I don't know whether they can't or they won't or what the deal is there, but that sucks.
Yeah.
to to know that if you were just playing it on your computer, that it would be $20 not on sale, and I'm sure there's been sales. Oh no, I got mine in a sale. I got it with that Bethesda pack
Oh yeah.
a while back. It's like $100 for every game.
Ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ridiculous. So if you break down the prices, I paid like $5 or something for it.
Those the Steam Summer Sale I think starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the
Get
30th.
your wallets ready,
Yeah,
boys.
hide.
Yeah. So yeah, so like that there's a good example. I got that game for doll hairs. I mean, just a couple of
Yeah.
them. And then went on they have a mod forum and you can go pick whatever the hell you want, throw it on there. So good luck to them. Hope they get the monies. Did you see anything on Watch Dogs 2?
I mean, it looks like Watch Dogs 2.
I was so disappointed with Watch Dogs 1 that I don't think I'll even try it.
I didn't play it. All I heard was the response of it, and I mean, this game looks like the same fucking game. So I don't. I mean, it was
Watch
there.
Dogs 1 sounded like it was going to be incredible. I mean, just the concept of game. And then once we got it in our hands, it was degraded graphics, degraded gameplay from what they premiered at E3 the previous year to it. The hacking was not hacking. It was pressing a button, and then it would just point his phone at something, and then it would just work. So, like, there was no... And then every now and then you'd get to one that was too difficult for your phone to hack by just pressing a button. And so
the
then you would have to do a pipe
puzzle bullshit.
Are you fucking kidding me? Pipe
That's how you
puzzle
hack,
is
dog.
what you got?
Fuck, you don't know.
Oh my
I talked
God.
to Angelina Jolie. She said, yeah. So yeah, when
Pipe
when
puzzles.
she was in Hackers, they did a lot of pipe puzzles. It's like you.
They couldn't have thought of anything fucking better than the when they start doing pipe puzzles for
I don't
fucking
know how long
to
have pipes
let
been
you-
around for? I imagine about
Yeah,
that
like-
long.
about that long. So like, oh, let's go back to Atari and see what worked there, and let's use that for our hacking.
I mean, they
Fuck
had sewer
outta here,
systems in
dude.
like ancient Rome, so I think pipe puzzles have been around for a little while. I don't know. I have no fucking interest in that game at all. It. Yep.
Yeah, when that first one came up and it like I hit it and it was like, "Oh, you got to go to hacking mode." And I was like, "Sweet, like I'm going to have to do something here finally instead of just pointing my fucking phone at it." And that goddamn pipe game showed up. It's like, power. Like, I'll play something else. And the multiplayer was just like a shitty version of Grand Theft Auto.
There was multiplayer for
I mean,
it. Wow.
yep. Oh my, and god damn it, my buddies liked it. They'd call me, "Hey, did you get on? Let's play Watch Dogs." And I get on there, and it's dirt bike racing. So you'd take a dirt bike, and all the mechanics were just Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you stole cars and shit just like it. So you'd get on one of those dirt bikes, and it'd be like a dirt bike dune race, because that's what hackers do when they all get together. They race their dirt bikes through the city.
Yeah,
and train
Anonymous
tracks.
is a bunch of cool fucking dudes, man.
cool
Yeah,
dudes. Yeah, real gangster.
who
So
wear a lot of
unless they
tap
did,
out and wear or drink like Monster Energy.
now they said that Watch Dog 2 has added parkour. So dog
Still
shit
not
is
interested.
the
Yeah,
rating.
I don't know.
Is the rating I give it. There's people that I was looking at the comments. They were like, "Oh, I love Watch Dogs 1." I'm like,
Nothing. There's
loved it.
very few things worse than having a friend that's just like fully into a game that is just a bad game. It's like, God, you guys really need to pick this up. This is good. We're not falling for your tricks, motherfucker. Like that's a shitty game. Did you watch
Um,
all of Ubisoft's press conference, or did you just watch
no,
Watch Dogs?
I just picked up a couple of the
Okay.
games. I got them all today actually on YouTube. You can go through and type like E3 gameplay,
Yeah.
and then it breaks them down by game.
Nice. I think if Wildlands is anything, if Ghost Recon Wildlands is going to be anything like the what the fuck is the name of that game that just came out? That Tom Clancy, The Division. I
Hmm.
absolutely will not buy it because in hindsight, that wasn't a good game. It I
It lost its luster real
real
quick.
quick.
Like, when was the last time you played it?
Since right before the first. I guess saying that it wasn't a good game is aggressive. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Last time I played it
The
was
first update, I think that was the last time I played, was with you guys when they gave that first update where we could no longer play together because our levels were too
yeah.
out of whack.
Yeah, that was the last time
That
I played.
Nope,
Yep.
turn it off.
What else?
No longer a
That's
game
when
I'm going to play.
they were like, "Oh yeah, you can trade now." And you had to have been in the group with the person that you're trying to trade with when the item dropped. It has to have been within 2 hours of the item dropping, and you can't directly hand it to the person. You have to
Yeah, to
throw it on the ground and then they can pick it up. It's like this
Yep.
is a waste of my time. This is fucking
Yep, this is
stupid.
broken.
They're learning how to play or how to make a fucking game right now. Why on earth why I don't know. It's that irritating argument of with updatable games, they're able to put out a half-assed game and then just fix it later because fuck it.
Yeah, I saw that there was a new update and all that stuff, and I just didn't touch it. I'm not gonna update it. I'm not gonna get the DLC. Yeah, when we logged back in and they had done that big update, it completely tanked that game for me.
Yeah, yeah. Me,
Because
and Devin tried to go to like the dark zone or some shit like that,
Yep.
and there was some level discrepancy that was it just teleported him to a different instance.
Yeah, he was in his own. So he was like, I'm standing right by the whatever the bill. He's like, I'm right by the gas station.
Yeah.
We're like, nope, we're right by the gas
Right.
station. He's like, and we finally figured out that when we walked through the door to the dark zone, he was in a different
It's
instance
stupid.
than us. And then that was it. I turned the game off and I haven't touched it since. But Ghost Recon's probably going to be close to that. The only thing different is it doesn't look like there's PvP that I saw, at least not in the open realm like it is with the Division. And they did say that you could complete the game completely single player.
If they make that game as a 4-player co-op open world shooter with no like without PvP, that game I think will be great because the level of balance can be they I want them to make a Tom Clancy game. I don't want them to make an MMO shooter. Like if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like I want a fucking Rainbow Six game that when you get shot 4 times you're fucking dead. It's not just fucking tung 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 just fucking magazine after magazine after magazine. Headshots do less damage on bigger enemies. Like I'm not trying to do this right now. We talked about it on a previous episode. It is so much easier to suspend belief when you have a sword in your hand and you're throwing fireballs than it is when you're standing there wearing a pair of jeans and a jacket holding an AR. Like that's just what we did at one point in time. Like in real life, this isn't how shit works. Like this doesn't make any fucking sense. But
Yeah. Yeah. If you can directly relate to what's happening. You're right. It's impossible to completely suspend reality. I can't hold a scar and just hammer down 7.62 rounds into somebody and then go, "Oh, I ran out of ammo on that enemy." Like
Yeah.
I hit him. I've got a 96% accuracy, but I ran out of ammo
Right.
before
Yeah,
he
that
died.
was the
Like,
that's what happened.
yeah. Okay. So, yeah, my 50 caliber sniper rifle headshots. I only had 32 rounds, so I couldn't put him down.
That's
But
what's tough for me with that game. I mean, I had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, going through missions and shit like that, but it was still
it
something
was
that
when
was
it was
irritating.
when they took away our our ability to play multiplayer that game immediately
Yeah.
died. Because it was like get on with your buddies, dude. I got on like every day with Devin.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah, you
was
guys were playing the shit out of that.
yeah. And then all of a sudden,
Oh,
oh, today you can't play
you have
together
no
anymore.
friends.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Goodbye. Uninstall. um. All right. See if we can get through some of the rest of these games. Serious Sam for VR. So they finally came out with a new Serious Sam game, which people have been begging for because Serious Sam was dope.
That's fucking cool. It's just a good
This dude's running with the bomb.
yeah. That sound is yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking,
When the first, oh, dude, when you play, I forget which Serious Sam it was, but when you play Serious Sam, oh, there was only one.
I think there was a couple.
Anyways, the one that I got on PC. When you play that, and the first time you come up to that hill and you hear that noise
Yeah.
of those dudes screaming when they run with the bomb, and you're like, "What the fuck is that sound?"
There's like a wave of screaming men come over the top of the hill.
That right there made that game instant classic for me. Like that feeling, like I'm sitting there with my headphones on, and I was completely confused at what that noise was, and then I just started cracking up laughing when I see the.
So stupid.
But they're not coming out with a real Serious Sam game, so there is no Serious Sam 2 or whatever it is. There's no remake to the last one. This one looks just like the graphic style and everything of the Serious Sam that I played. I think there's only one, man.
There's a number of them. There's like 5.
Is it?
Yeah. There's like
All right,
Serious Sam Double D. There's Serious Sam BFE. There's Serious Sam. Serious
Okay,
Sam
I've
2.
got BFE.
Okay.
So,
That's like the more realistic. I mean, bear with me. Like the more realistic graphics.
yeah. So it looks like that one. So if you've got the big fucking edition or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
the it looks like that, but then you have like two floating hands. You know how VR is doing shooters, and you're planted. So all it is a defense game.
Okay.
You go to a level, and then they come running with their bombs, and then you're shooting them, and then you can switch between weapons. The floating hand thing kills me in VR.
It's interesting. That's for sure.
I guess if they attach the arm, it gets all wigged out. If you try to, like, it'll get all spaghetti arm. It can't. So they had to disattach them so you can, like, cross your hands. Because in the gameplay trailer, the guy's like flipping his hands over and under, but they had to cut the arms off because I guess physics engines just can't. It doesn't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess they're working on. There's that Vive thing has the hand sensor, like the glove that you put on that can feel, or that I can measure individual digit movement, and then they're working on getting one that like goes up to your elbow or something. Eventually, it's just.
I was gonna say they got to get the arms.
Yeah.
Soon it'll be a suit. But so it looks fun. I don't know how much it's gonna be, but if you wanted a new Serious Sam game, you're getting a VR, and they said there is no plan to bring a real one.
Oh, I gotcha. It's just
A VR game. Like there's not going to be also a Serious Sam whatever new for a console and PC. We talked about God of War, talked about Ghost Recon. Did you look at Warhammer Dawn of War 3?
vaguely, very vaguely. It sounds like
Yeah.
it's going back to the roots of the first Dawn of War, and it's going to be like large army style RTS instead of like Dawn of War 2. That I guess I didn't play Dawn of War, or I didn't play it much, but or Dawn of War 2, I mean, I guess was more focused on like Company of Heroes style, like hero characters. I don't know.
I think these are going to mix them a little bit. It looks like you have like drop pods, marines, and large scale marine upgrades, which is going to be nice. But they do have, like, the trailer showed, what's his name, like your main
I don't know
space marine.
any of the character
I can't,
names.
Yeah, like I'm going to go it alone, and then you just go with that guy, and he's just destroying people, and then a larger force comes, and then you can bring in drop pods, marines, and stuff. And so it looks like they kind of combined them. I think you're going to still have a heavy influence on a main hero for the classes, and then they've, like, there's ultimate abilities, so they got like the finger of God laser that comes down, and then they've got the death from above, which is these big pods of marines that can be dropped in on the battlefield.
Nice.
And it looked good. I mean, it's an RTS, so that's not hard to do.
Sure. Halo Wars
But,
2, speaking of RTSs, is
right?
going to be a thing. I didn't play the first one, and fuck Halo, so that's all I have to say about
I
that.
played the first one. It's a good RTS. It was probably the most popular RTS for console, if I had to guess, at least for Xbox.
People really liked it. I was surprised. Excuse me, I was
pretty good.
surprised by that.
Yeah. I mean, man, there's like a formula for an RTS, and as long as you follow it and you don't fuck it up, like, it'll be good.
Yeah.
So you just took a very, like, basic formula for like just a good RTS, and then skinned it with Halo crap, and then good game, right? Like, it's not bad. It was fun to play. I played
Right
it.
on.
I'm not going to go get the second one, but that one is going to be a Play Anywhere title.
Yep.
For sure. They did announce that, so it will be available on Windows 10 and on Xbox One.
That's cool.
Immediately. So
The controller, speaking of Xbox, the customizable controller is pretty fucking cool.
the what was that website you went to?
What is it? It's xboxdesignlab.xbox.com. But I think you can just Google it and it'll probably pop right up. Xbox Design Lab, but it's $80. You can go in and change the colors of, I think, like 6 or 7 different aspects.
Does that give you an Elite controller, or does that give you a regular controller?
It's a regular controller.
See, I need my little back buttons if I'm buying a new controller.
I'm just not going to get one. That's how I'm getting around that.
Well, okay.
I want to. I mean, I've made probably like 5 different controllers on that thing, just fucking around. It's like, oh, that looks neat. I'd like one of those, but sure as shit don't need one, because I don't want to spend the extra money for like the wireless adapter also. So like that's like $25. So
you just don't want to use the cable?
What?
Like, I just use this. It's just a micro USB.
Was it go from the controller to your computer?
Yeah, and then it's just a wired controller.
Did it?
As long as you have a micro USB that's capable of transferring data, your computer, your PC, has a driver to use it as a wired controller.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So I don't have a wireless adapter or anything.
Right on. Cool. Well, then maybe I'll look into that then. That's still $80.
It's good for it. Yeah, it is, but it's I like it for, the shit that we play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
video games.
It's but the ones that just are better, like third-person shooters, are better with a controller most of the time. There's only a few that aren't.
Stardew Valley's getting picked up for Xbox, so that dude's gonna be rich as fuck here soon, and hopefully he'll continue to put out content for that.
I know. Is she playing Stardew Valley in the background right now?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's almost a millionaire at $980,000, and almost everybody in the town is her best friend. So
nailing it. He's just doing better at life
Stardew
than
Valleying like a motherfucker.
Ark. Did you see the guys from Ark
No.
do their little spiel? So that was pretty cool. The guys from Ark, it's like a brother and sister team, or is it husband and wife? I
So
can't.
it's the white
They didn't
stripes,
say.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, same. Like they're like the developers, and they said like uh, Jordan, whoever, and what's her name. But
Geraldine.
they had the same last name. So Arc mods. The modding community has gotten so crazy that they have started evaluating mods, and the guys from Arc have hired several independent developers that have made user mods for
That's
Arc.
awesome.
They now work for them. And one of the things that they did for them after going through this is there's a mod that you can get now that is it's sanctioned or whatever, um, where you can be like the fucking bugs
What?
or a wolf. You can play as an animal, and you can go through like an entire lifespan. And you know how they have the poop
Yeah.
button? Now they have a mate button. So you can be an ant, and you could build like, and you're like teeny tiny in the world, and you can go through and
Wow.
you
That's
can
like a
mate
whole
and
nother
build
side
more
of
ants.
mechanics too.
Yeah. They did. There, you can be the shark. You can, and they said eventually there's somebody in Australia working on it. They said eventually you'll be able to play as every animal.
That but why?
I don't know, man. Like the ant one made your eyes all like bubbly, like
Oh,
when you
really?
looked at your screen. Yeah, like it like
Oh,
distorted
fucking
it,
boy, that's gonna be good.
and they're just like crawling through the sand. And God, it looked pretty cool. But it looks like there's smaller time frames. So like an ant, you would go through a lifespan. So these are almost like mini games.
Oh,
I
interesting.
guess. I don't think you're gonna play a wolf for an entire like season or whatever.
Huh.
But that was pretty cool.
Did you see
Then
Sea of Thieves?
I didn't.
It's a title that Rare's coming out with, the guys that did like Banjo Kazooie and all that shit.
Yeah.
Conquer. But it's like there's like a survival side to it, and they didn't really get too much into that, but they were showing how the pirate ships worked. And it takes like a group of people to operate these pirate ships. So there's like you have to like move the sails around and position them to like move your boat, and then somebody else has to steer, somebody has to drop the anchor, somebody has to like sit up on the crow's nest to be a lookout. It's like it looks like a ton of fucking fun, and like people have to operate each individual cannon. It looks like a fucking ton of fun, dude.
Dude, you know, this just sounds like we're gonna have like Rare comes out with Factory Worker.
Yeah, yeah. They're prototyping their work from home app, so you can just control a robot via VR, and you'll think that you're playing a video game, but really
You'll pay
you're
them,
making
yeah, and you're just doing
assault
work.
rifles for fucking for some country that Rare decides to sell. Yeah, Rare becomes an arms dealer, and
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff. Sticking with VR, did you see Giant Cop?
no.
I don't want to say did you see before each of these, but Giant Cop. Giant Cop looks ridiculous, and you're part of a beach town, and
Sure.
you're a giant cop. You're like God, but you like have a cop hat on and like Ray-Bans. And so there's like nudists that refuse to follow the new rule that you have to wear clothes on the beach. And when you find somebody breaking the law, you just grab them and then throw them into the ocean.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fucking fun, actually.
So no, but this thing is so like communist that they can protest you. Like if you start killing off people, and they'll be like, "No, giant cop," and then the guy just picks up a bus and smashes all the protesters.
That sounds like a ton. Did you play Black and White back in the day?
No,
It was it came from Lionhead, the guys that made Fable. Like it was one of those Peter Molyneux games that it was like, I'm going to give you the most incredible experience you have ever experienced in experiences. And then the game comes out, and just like Peter Molyneux fucking games do, had like 50% of what he said it was going to do. Either way, it was a lot of fun. You were just a hand, and you could manipulate shit, and you had a little creature that like did your bidding, because you have to take over towns to spread your influence, and then you couldn't operate outside of your influence areas, so you would have to train your creature to like go harvest wheat and then take it to another town that you haven't taken over yet. So they will believe in your creature. Then that spreads your influence. But like that, you could just grab people with the hand and just fucking throw them, and they'd be dead as shit by the time they landed on the other side of the continent.
Well, that's pretty much what Giant Cop
Yeah,
is.
cool.
So
That looks like my end to VR. Justice
it,
above all is their fucking their slogan.
but they give you like a guy will have his plant stolen, and he'll give the Giant Cop like a little folder, and it'll say like, "This is what my plant looked like, and it was stolen." And then you got a magnifying glass, so you can zoom in on people, and you find the guy that has the. He finds the guy that has the plant, and the guy looks at him, and then he just smacks him. He doesn't like retrieve the plant; he just kills
Just
the guy.
murder. That's it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the offense is; you just kill them. Like a nudist on a beach, and he just flings them into the ocean. Anyways, looked really good. Tyranny, the RPG, is an evil RPG. The evil empire of this world wins and takes over, and you battle for your right to be in that world.
Tyranny.
Like if you could be a leader. It's made by company Obsidian that did Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, okay.
It looks really good. We talked a lot in the early ones about finding a good RPG.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still
It's got that paper cutscene thing, which I'm a fan of. I don't know why I like that so
I
much.
think it
but like
looks
when
cool
goes
too.
yeah, it goes to the cutscenes and you get those overlays of paper and like the cool sound effects in the background.
Oh, so this is like an isometric like Diablo view.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that front page is that like paper style. That's what Darkest Dungeon, that's what their art style was, and it was dude, it looks so good.
So Obsidian putting out another. I mean, they're good. Fallout New Vegas, a lot of people liked. So they can do good games.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna look into this. It looks pretty neat.
Yep. I only have one more game that I really want to talk about, and I saved it for the end because I figured it would be a big talking point. But do you got any other big ones you want to get to before?
It was cool to see Quake back, but I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Quake because the preview insinuated that it was going to be Overwatch-esque in the way that each character was going to have individual abilities and like ultimates and shit like that. So I'll be curious to see what Quake Champions is. Did you play Dishonored?
Yep.
Dishonored 2 looks pretty badass. There was this one part of the video where the girl was walking along and in her hand she was holding this like broken mirror or something that was showing like in the mirror was like current time and then where she was far in the or future, so she would like be able to teleport. She's walking around the same house that's all like dilapidated and fucked up, but she's able to like teleport into present. And then are the dogs as loud as shit? I wonder what it sounds like on the recording. But no, you're good. You're fine. But then she like teleports to present and then shanks these guards and then teleports back into the future. And then like you're looking through your little glass thing and you can like the guard, you're just standing right in front of him and the guard comes over, is like, holy shit, like my partner's dead, and like he has no fucking clue as to how the dude just died.
That's cool.
So that mechanic looked
was
really
it
rad.
Was it Dishonored that has the new game has the option to go no power ups?
Oh, I don't know.
Um, I was clicking around a lot of videos, but I'm pretty sure it was the new Dishonored where like it shows him like scaling a building or whatever, and he's got like his knife and he's killing some people, and then it said now you could normally go to that guy to get like power ups, like different abilities that you gain throughout the game. The first time you meet him, he will try to give you an ability, and you can say like no. And like it's like, I'm done with your handouts or whatever.
Nice.
And then he goes, fine, and then leaves. And now you have to play the rest of the game just with like just being a dude, like no special
Just
abilities
being a ninja.
whatsoever.
That
Yeah.
might be cool. That was uh, Dishonored was fun. It does get to a point where there's so much shit that you don't have time to try it all, and you forget what some of the shit does. So if you take like 2 weeks off of a game and then you try to come back and play your last save file, it's like I don't even know what the fuck I was doing
Yeah.
or what any of these skills do. So then it's like you spend 2 hours trying to get like back into the rhythm of this game, and then it's like, well, I'm gonna go eat dinner now, and then that's the last time that you ever play it.
Yeah.
So maybe without
So
any
that was a
skills,
cool thing.
yeah, that is rad. Um,
Uh,
let's see. Prey. I don't know if you played Prey back on the Xbox 360, but it looks like they're rebooting that, and it looked pretty gnarly. The graphics for um, the fuck is it?
Trailer.
Yeah, the trailer looked pretty rad. And if that's in game,
yeah, the graphics for that were fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know it's not going to look like that, especially not on Xbox. But
for
it
sure.
it was, dude. The hair in his arm and stuff, like when he reaches over and hits the alarm clock, was
Like when he's looking at his eye in the mirror, like, and it's like turning red, like the veins and shit in his eye were. Yeah, it's pretty crazy where we're at with CG.
and I didn't play the first one, so I don't know anything about it. But this one just looks like a complete revamp.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the first one you play this Native American dude that gets abducted by aliens and run around and shoot aliens.
well, the last one that I wanted to talk about was Lawbreakers by Boss Key.
Yeah,
Did you look into it?
I mean, I've applied for their beta. It looks sick. I don't know. I really appreciate what Cliff Bleszinski does because I think he makes awesome games.
I mean, if you like Overwatch, right, you're gonna like this. He even said that if what do you say? If Overwatch is Street Fighter, then Lawbreakers is Mortal Kombat.
Right on. Yeah, it
He
definitely
said
looked.
this is supposed to be
It looked like a
more gritty.
like an Unreal
You're gonna
tournament,
get-
like a new Unreal tournament style,
Yeah,
like double
you're
jumping.
gonna get double jumping. There's low gravity areas, so you can go through a doorway. Like you can run and jump from inside of a grav area, like a normal gravity area,
Yeah.
and jump through the field, and that will propel you like way up high.
Nice.
You know, like you can get a lot of that double jump stuff down. But this is like instead of having that funny anime style, it's gonna be grittier, like a little bit of blood, a little bit of gore. So if you like Overwatch, but you wish it was more like he said, Mortal Kombat style, like a little bit grittier, then Lawbreakers is probably gonna be for you.
That's right.
And it's got Ice-T, man. You got Ice-T to come back and do do the voice.
That was so
for some of it.
so fucking jarring, dude. When I started that trailer and watching that was not what my ears wanted to experience. I did not like that. Sup, motherfucker? You want to shoot some shit? It's like, no, not anymore. I'm gonna go away now. Thanks, Ice-T. You fucking ruined my experience.
But at least for me, that was E3, man. That was a lot of cramming.
Did it? Yeah. I mean, we just barely covered a lot of stuff. Oh, We Happy Few. That was my last one. We Happy Few looks badass.
I didn't see
It's
that
like
one.
you're living in like this. You don't take your happy pills one day, and you start seeing like the reality of everything that's going on around you, and everybody's just eating these happy pills. So you walk into one room after you haven't been eating your medicine, and these people are beating a piñata, and then they fucking hit the piñata and blood splatters on the face of the girl that's standing next to you, and they're like all happy and like eating the candy that's falling out of it, and then like your vision like shudders a little bit and then cuts to like what's actually happening, and it was a real rat that they were beating with the stick, and now they're just eating this corpse of this fucking rat. So it's like
Jesus
it's
Christ.
like more of like an adventure game. It's not gonna be like a
Right.
shooter or anything like that. But it's based in like 1950s London or something like that. But
And that was called My Happy
We
Pills?
Happy Few,
Oh, We Happy
yeah,
Few.
it looks pretty dope though. The art style is pretty cool,
I gotta write that one
and
down.
it comes out
You
on my
know a
birthday.
release date
Yeah,
for it?
July 26th.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, man, that's oh, and they're putting General Ram from fucking Gears of War into Killer Instinct, which I don't play, but if you
Yeah.
do,
If you do, then you'll get it. Oh well, dude, that was a fucking
yeah,
marathon. I am exhausted.
yeah. Video games aside, huge welcome to everybody. The 90 new followers that we got. Huge thank you for that, and definitely thank you to Podbean for that sick feature. Maybe we can talk him into letting us do another one again. That would be rad.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, go over to facebook.com and search for Horrible Influence. We're on there. It is horribleinfluence.facebook.com. And then go to the Podbean page at horribleinfluence.podbean.com and make sure to subscribe there so you get these every week when they come out. We are in the process of discussing splitting a couple of these episodes, so stay tuned for that in the future. And like always, we're on iTunes and Google Play.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, everybody. It was fun, and we will see you next week.
Bye.